A very good afternoon to all the students. In this session, I am going to discuss one topic called as the modern stream ciphers. Right. So, in the previous sessions, we have gone through various classification of the cryptographic techniques, which is divided into three categories: the symmetric, asymmetric, and the hash functions. Coming to the symmetric cryptography, into how many parts it was divided? So what is the classification of symmetric? Two parts. What are they? So
Traditional
and
modern
modern. Right. In traditional we have the transposition and substitution, and in the modern cipher we have the modern block ciphers and modern stream ciphers. So in the previous sessions we have gone through a very in-depth discussion on the modern block ciphers, where you break the given data into, or you first convert the given data into a number of bits, and then you make a block of a particular group of bits, right, like 64 bits or 128 bits. That is what the modern block cipher is, and we have taken one entire session based on the differentiation of these modern block ciphers and the modern stream ciphers, right. So if you are clear on that particular topic, which is very important from the examination point of view or from the theoretical point of view also, right. So we have completed the modern block ciphers, and now in this session we concentrate on the modern stream ciphers. So can anybody tell me what do you mean by the stream? What do you understand by the term modern stream ciphers? We know that stream is nothing but, what do you mean by stream?
Flow of data, sir.
So we call the flow of data as a stream, right. So in the modern stream ciphers, so can anybody give me the examples of modern stream ciphers? We have discussed in the earlier sessions, right. At least tell me where we are going to apply these stream ciphers. Application area.
Bluetooth and
Super.
Bluetooth connections and cellular and 4G connections.
Right. So in Bluetooth connection, we will be using this modern stream ciphers, and similarly in cellular as well as the 4G technologies, we are going to use this modern stream ciphers. Right. So in the cellular stream cipher, we will be using a algorithm which is called as A5, and similarly we have RC4, another example of this stream cipher, where we will be using this RC4 technology or encryption technique in wireless technologies, wireless communications, right. So what actually is the stream cipher? What happens in modern block ciphers, and how these modern stream ciphers are different from the block ciphers is, as it was discussed, that in block cipher technique we use it to form the blocks before the encryption itself, right. So we have some textual data or image data, whatever data it is, multimedia data, any type of data, it is mandatory that you convert that form of data into a bit format, right. You convert it into zeros and ones, which is very convenient and which is the native language for the computers. So you convert that particular data into the bit binary language, and what you will do in the block cipher is you have to combine, or you have to group some bits of data into a single block. Like that you frame any number of blocks, and while you encrypt the data, you treat that entire block, you take the entire block and then you convert that entire block into another block of ciphertext, right. So you take one block of plain text, you do some modifications, it's not modification, you do some calculations, mathematical applications you will do, and then you will generate the block of ciphertext. This is what happens in the modern block cipher. But in the modern stream ciphers, as the name itself is saying, that it is going to treat the stream. That means it is going to take the flow of data. So it will be taking some 8 bits of data at a time, right? As I told that in that example itself, I told that stream means you will be taking a single bit at a time. So you take a single bit of plain text and you apply the thing, and then you will convert that one bit of data into the ciphertext, right? One bit of ciphertext. But in some textbooks and in some materials you find, or the internet, you can easily check that the stream ciphers are also explained in terms of 8 bits at a time. So they will be taking one character. 8 bit is nothing but a one character. So one character you will take and you convert that plain text character into the ciphertext character. So that is also treated as the stream ciphers only. But as we know that we are interested to discuss the stream ciphers on a R bit stream, right? You take that R can be anything, right? So is it clear about this modern block cipher and modern stream cipher? And is there any need for blocking the data? That means need for preparing the blocks of data in the stream ciphers? Right. So there is no need to convert the bits into blocks, right? You directly take the bits and you apply some functions on it so that you can get the bits of ciphertext, right? And here you can observe that there is the encryption of data will take place in a long pseudo random streams. We'll see what this pseudo random and everything in the coming slide, right? So if you look at the modern stream ciphers, right, it is very important, please concentrate. So we have a stream cipher like this. This is very important, please concentrate. So we have a stream cipher and we have an exclusive OR operation, and then in general what is the process we have to convert the plain text into ciphertext? So we have a plain text box and we perform the exclusive OR operation of this plain text with the key, and finally you will get a ciphertext block. This is the general process of any encryption technique. So you take n bits of plain text, n bits of key, and you perform some mathematical operation. In general, the exclusive OR operation is taken for the encryption operation, right? It's a very simple technique, and the result will be a ciphertext. So this is a general method of any encryption technique. But in the stream cipher, the same thing remains, right? You have a plain text and you perform an exclusive OR operation of this plain text on a key, but that key is generated, is not a direct key like this, right? That key will be generated by making use of some functions which will work on the keys as well as the nonce. Here you come across a new term which is called as nonce, N-O-N-C-E, right? So nonce stand for it's an acronym, right? So it stands for number used only once. So this n and this once is combined to form the term nonce. So nonce is something like number used only once. So in generation of the key, nonce plays very important role. So you might have got a doubt, what is this nonce, sir? I can understand that it is number used only once, right? So you might have heard of the term called OTP. In your daily life, when you do some bank transactions, you will come across the term called as OTP. So what does OTP stands for?
One-time passwords.
One-time password.
One time password, right? Super. So the same is the case with this particular nonce. So this OTP can be used for that particular transaction only. In the similar manner, the keys that are going to give, that we are going to give as input to the exclusive OR operation along with the plain text, they are generated from the normal key which the user has decided, and along with the nonce. Nonce stands for number used only once. Right. So when you input this key, and the nonce, it will generate a key stream. It will generate a key stream like this. Right. So what is this nonce? So nonce is nothing but a pseudo random number. It is a pseudo random number. Right. And you forget about this pseudo, and you can observe here that this is just a random number that is generated from a random generator. And remember that this is unique in nature. Right. So for each and every round you consider this modern stream ciphers, for each and every round it will generate a unique random number which is called as nonce, and it plays very important role in the generation of the key stream. Right. And once you input this k and the plain text and you perform the exclusive OR operation, you will end up in the ciphertext. Right. So everything remains the same. The plain text is converted into ciphertext by making use of an exclusive OR operation with the plain text and the key. Here also you will be generating a ciphertext from the plain text as well as the keys, the exclusive OR operation of plain text and the keys. But the only point you should remember here is the key stream is generated from the original key as well as a pseudo random generator or a pseudo random number which is combined with the unique random number which we call it as nonce. Is it clear the mechanism that is involved in the pseudo modern stream ciphers?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is all about the introduction part with this modern stream ciphers. So in a modern stream cipher, the encryption and decryption are done R bits at a time. Right. In general, this R will be 8. 8 bits means, as I told, that it represents a character. So you take single character and you convert that character from the plain text to the ciphertext by making use of some necessary manipulations. Right. So plain text is a bit stream called represented as a capital P, and it is represented as Pn to P1. Similarly, the ciphertext bit stream is represented with a uppercase letter C, which is again an n-bit stream. Right. Similarly, the K, which is called as the key bit stream, right, it is also a n-bit stream itself, right, in which Pi, Ci and Ki are R-bit words. Right. So this is the only difference we have between this modern stream cipher, the basic difference between the modern stream cipher and the modern block cipher. Right. And we have two types of modern stream ciphers. This also we have discussed while we are discussing the differences between the block cipher and the stream cipher. Right. So what are these types of modern stream ciphers? We have the first one is the synchronous stream cipher, and the second one is the non-synchronous stream cipher. So can anybody just recollect what actually is the synchronous stream cipher and what actually is the asynchronous stream cipher? Asynchronous or non-synchronous, anything is okay, right? So what is this synchronous stream cipher?
Synchronous is key.
Here, key is generated independently.
Right, super. So the key which we are going to generate is independent of previous plain text and the ciphertext. But in the non-synchronous stream ciphers, the key what we are going to use is dependent on previous plain text and ciphertext. Right. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So here you can see that the asynchronous or the non-synchronous stream ciphers, the key is generated based upon the previous ciphertext bits. Right. Whereas in the synchronous stream ciphers, the key is not dependent, it does not rely on the previous plain text and the ciphertext. Right. So let us see with an example diagram. So this is the encryption process where we are taking an n-bit plain text which is represented with the capital P, and this is the key which is a n-bit stream which is represented with the uppercase K. And while you apply this encryption, so in the previous example we have taken the encryption process as a simple exclusive OR operation, but it can involve more number of strategies, right? So the simple one you can use for any encryption is the exclusive OR operation. So you take P and you take K, both are of n-bit streams, and you perform the exclusive OR operation to generate an n-bit ciphertext which is represented with the capital C, right? And this key K, as I told that this is not a direct key which is taken from the user, right? It involves the concept called as nonce, number used only once, right? It is nothing but a random unique random number. And at the decryption end, and that means at the receiver end, during the decryption process, the n-bit ciphertext is taken and it is given to the decryption algorithm, and the same key is used here also, right, which is the key K. Then it will generate the plain text which is of n bits. So this is a very simple block diagram that shows how the stream cipher works, right? So in a modern stream cipher, each R-bit word in the plain text stream is enciphered using an R-bit word in the key stream to create a corresponding R-bit word in the ciphertext stream. Is it clear? Very simple thing, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So this is what I have explained in the first slide. See here. So in a synchronous stream cipher, the key is independent of the plain text or the ciphertext. It is not the current plain text or the ciphertext. It is independent of the previous plain text and the ciphertext. Right. Here you can see, right, one concept called as one-time pad. It is similar to that of nonce concept, what I have explained. So, right, so somewhere you will find it as nonce, and in some materials you will find it as one-time pad. Both are same only. And I told that OTP, which is used for most of the online financial transactions, they depend on OTP. Very secure thing, right? So in the similar manner, you can observe here a small difference between the block ciphers and the stream ciphers is this is a random sequence bit generator, right? So it is used to generate the key. It is used to generate the random sequence of bits which we can treat it as a key. So here you can observe that the only one bit of the key is taken, and it is exclusive ORed with one bit of the plain text which is PI, which generates one bit of CI, which is the ciphertext, right? So these one bit encryption will be done, and it will generate a stream of bits, and those entire stream of cipher bits will be transmitted to the receiver end by using a channel. It is a communication channel, right? But remember, see here, since it is a symmetric key cryptography, the same key has to be used for both the encryption as well as the decryption. So for this purpose, since we can treat this communication channel as an insecure channel, you cannot dare to submit, or you cannot dare to communicate this key through this insecure channel. So for this purpose, what they have done is they have used one secure key exchange channel. This is a separate channel which is exclusively used to send the key from the sender to the receiver, right? So nobody can attack it, no third party can access this. This is not possible. That is the reason why we implement, or we employ a lot of security mechanisms or security services over this communication channel, so that it is very hard to tamper this communication channel. So through this secure key exchange channel, we are going to exchange the key from the sender to the receiver. So whatever key that is received at this receiver end, the receiver, what he will do is he will use that key and the ciphertext, one bit of the ciphertext and one bit of key, it is exclusive OR to generate one bit of PI, right? So what is the new things you have discussed here? The first one is the random sequence bit generator and the secure key exchange channel. These are the two new points which you have encountered in this particular diagram, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So it is not the case that you always exchange the key through the communication channel only, right? So you can implement more number of security mechanisms to create a channel, and by using that channel you can simply pass the secure keys, right? So these are the two new topics which we have encountered in this discussion. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we will see a simple example of how this is happening. So what is the pattern in the ciphertext of a one-time paired cipher? So if you come across anything like the one-time paired cipher, you simply remember that this is a synchronous stream cipher, right? So where do we use this one-time padding? We'll use this random unique pseudo random keys in the concept of stream ciphers only, right? So the question here is, what is the pattern in the ciphertext? So what are ciphertext you are generating? What pattern you are generating while you are using a one-time paired ciphers in each of the following cases, right? So the plain text is made of n zeros, right? He is just asking whether it is a sequence of bits that is repeated at equal intervals of time, or it is a random, right? So the answer what we have to give is whether it is a random ciphertext that is generated, or what is the second option we have? Or it is a sequence
Same.
of bits which are repeated, right? So here the encryption technique or the operation which the user is using is, which the author is using, is the simple exclusive OR operation. So if you look at the plain text, it is made of n zeros. So this is the plain text, right? You take the first bit of the plain text. So let us take the n as 8. So how many zeros are there? 8 zeros. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, right? So let us take a random key which is 01 01 01 11, like this, right? Just for example understanding purpose I am explaining this example. So this is the plain text I have, and this is the key, the random key which I have taken, which is also of 8-bit length only. Why should I take the key length as 8 bits only? Because I have taken the plain text consisting of n zeros, where I have treated the n as 8, right? And what is the encryption operation I have taken? This is the XOR operation. So if I take the first bit and the first bit of key, so what is the last significant bit, least significant bit? This one, right? And what is the least significant bit of this key? It is 1, right? So like that, this I should be repeated 8 times. So for I is equal to 1 to 8, you should repeat this process to generate the ciphertext. So what is this ciphertext? Ciphertext is equal to plain text exclusive OR key. Am I right or not? So what is the key I have here? 0 1 0 1 0 1 1 1. So if I perform the exclusive OR operation, what is that I am getting here? The exclusive OR operation finds the differences. So if the bits are different, then it will give the output as 1, and if the bits are equal, it will give the output as 0. So 0 1 results in 1, 0 1 1 1 0 0 0 1 0 1 and 0. So what is this ciphertext that is generated here, which is nothing but key k? Am I right or not? So the same stream of bits has been generated as the ciphertext. And what is that key you have taken? Is it a sequence that is repeated, or it is a random number? Is key a random
number, sir.
Random number. Why? Because you are using the one-time pad cipher. So any random key can be generated. So now tell me, if key is random number, the ciphertext is random or not? In this case, if you are taking the plain text as n bit,
Yes, sir.
right? So what happens if you take the plain text is made of n ones? So what is my plain text here? What is the value of n? 8.
8, sir.
So I have 8 ones. And what is the key? Let us take the same key which we have used in the first example, 0 1 0 1 0 1 1 1. Now tell me, what is the ciphertext here? 0 0 0, it is 1, this is 0, and this is 1, this is 0, and this is 1, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So if you observe the ciphertext carefully, it is nothing but the complement of k. What do you mean by complement? K complement is given like this. What do you mean by k complement? It is nothing but you just reverse the bits. So you make the 0 as 1 and 1 as 0. So if I complement this k, what is the result I will get? 1 0 1 0, right? 1 0 0 0, right? So the ciphertext which you are generated, the result which you got is nothing but the k complement. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
Now if k is random, what happens to k complement? Is it random or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. So if k complement is random, the ciphertext is also random. So in this case also you have the ciphertext which is generated as a random sequence of bits, right? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Now tell me. Now the third case, plain text. Let us take the plain text as alternating zeros and ones. So the plain text will be 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 1. What is the key I have here? 0 1 0 1 0 1 1 1, right? What happens if I perform the exclusive OR operation over this? I will get 0 1 0, this is 0, this is 0 0 0 0, right? So this is the ciphertext that is generated. Here also I am getting the ciphertext which is equal to random. Why? Because the key is random. So when you take the key as random and the entire the exclusive OR operation is entirely dependent on the key. Therefore, if key is random, obviously the ciphertext which you have generated will be random only. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And the last case what you have taken, the plain text is a random string of bits, right? There is no sequence. So if the plain text is random 0 1 0 0 1 0 1 1, I have taken a random number, and if the key is 0 1 0 1 0 triple 1, right? So here also the resultant ciphertext will be a random number, nothing more than that. So the concept what we have discussed here is, if you are going to use the stream cipher, you will be generating a random sequence of bits, right? So the random sequence of bits itself is very advantageous for the encryption technique, right? It's not advantageous for the encryption. The attacker who attacks the communication channel, and even though he gets the stream of ciphertext, he will not be getting any type of patterns, right? For example, if you consider the block stream, right, each and every block the attacker will attack, and by looking at the pattern of bits that are present inside each and every block, he will get some idea because of the patterns that are repeated every now and then. But in the stream cipher, you can observe with these type of examples. You take n zeros, you take n number of ones for the plain text, or you take the alternating zeros and ones, and similarly you take the plain text as a random string of bits. At each and every case, you will be generating a random ciphertext. By this, it will be very difficult for the attacker to know the pattern of bits that are being communicated between the sender and the receiver. It is just to confuse the attacker. So see how strong these stream ciphers are, right? So in the previous discussions also we told one particular important point. Tell me which one is better. Is it the block cipher or the stream cipher?
Stream cipher, sir.
No. I told you clearly that there is no particular cipher technique that is superior in all the cases, right? Sometimes the stream cipher is very much advantageous, and sometimes the block cipher is very much advantageous. The entire strength of the block cipher or the stream cipher, it depends on the application. So if we are going to use the Bluetooth connectivity, what is that you are going to use? You cannot make use of a block cipher, right? You have to depend on the stream cipher. Similarly, when you are going to use any of the cyber security, you can use this block cipher anywhere, but there are some restrictions, right? And one more important point you have to remember here is that the strength of the block cipher as well as the stream cipher depends entirely on the strength of the key. Is this point clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. This was already discussed in the previous sessions, right? Nowhere all the blocks and all the stream ciphers are superior. It depends on the strength of the block cipher or the stream cipher. That depends on only one important concept, which is the strength of the key. If you have stronger keys, the encryption is stronger. If you have weak keys, the encryption becomes weak, right? Is it clear? So what is that point you have gained from this discussion? The thing is that the block cipher or the stream cipher strength depends on the strength of the key. That's it. Simple point, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So we will be discussing about this feedback shift register. Sir, what is the need of this feedback shift register? And after this we have this linear feedback shift register, LFSR. So the main importance of this LFSR is, I told you one concept called as nonce, right? Number used only once, or another term is one-time pad. So what are these nonce and one-time pads? It's nothing but
Unique in nature.
Unique in nature, sir.
Unique in nature, and they are random numbers. So we can call them as the nonce as unique random numbers. So how we are going to generate the unique random numbers? That is by making use of the shift registers, feedback shift registers. So the pseudo random generator is nothing but we are going to use the feedback shift registers, which are short form called as FSRs, as the random sequence generators. Right. See here, if you observe this particular feedback shift register, so you will be getting the feedback from the previous bits. So if I want to generate a bit Bm, see here, how many bits are there from here to here? B0 to Bm minus 1, m bits. Am I right or not? Right. So to output will be a single bit like this. To generate the next bit, which is Bm, I define this Bm, bit m, as a function of all the previous bits. It is defined as the function of previous bits. Right. We'll see with an example also, don't worry. So to generate one bit, we are making use of maybe all the bits of previous bits you can use, or you can use a simple a selection of the input bits also. That's a different case, right? But the point here you have to remember is we are going to generate a new bit Bm by making use of the feedback shift registers, right? So let us go with an example, and this is a linear feedback shift register, which we in short form will call it as a LFSR. The simple point you have to remember about this LFSR is it is used to generate the pseudo random sequences or unique pseudo random numbers, right? See here the third point. So the LFSR is used to generate the pseudo random sequences, which we are calling it as the nonce or the one-time pad, and it is used in A5 encryption algorithm. Where do we use this A5 encryption algorithm?
In stream cipher, sir.
In stream cipher, but what is the exact application where we use this A5 encryption algorithm? Is it Bluetooth or wireless or GSM?
GSM cellular network, sir.
Right. So we are going to use this A5 encryption algorithm in the GSM cellular networks. So in this A5, this is a modern stream cipher where you have to generate the keys, right? Where you have to generate the one-time pads or pseudo random sequences. So that is generated by making use of this LFSR. So in computing a linear feedback shift register, LFSR is a shift register whose input bit is a linear function of its previous states. Right. Actually, the linear feedback shift register is used for this purpose. So it is, why it is called as linear means the new bit that is generated is having a linear relationship with the previous bits, previous states or previous bits, whatever you can call. Right. So this is a simple example which you have taken. So how many bits are there here totally in this diagram?
5, sir.
5 bits. I want to generate the next bit, which is the 6th bit. So what I have taken is the linear feedback function, which is nothing but an exclusive OR operation of B0, B2 and B4. So how can I define this B5? B5 is equal to B0 exclusive or B2 exclusive or B4. This is simple a linear feedback shift register, nothing more than that. Right. So this takes a linear function. Why it is called as a linear feedback shift register means, as I told, that it is going to connect the new bit with the linear functionality of the previous bits. So the linear function is nothing but the XOR operation. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So the LFSRs are exclusively used to generate the key streams. That's it. Basically, they are used to generate the pseudo random unique sequences, which are treated as the key streams for the modern stream ciphers. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Right. So we'll see an example. Create a linear feedback shift register with 4 cells. So these are the 4 cells I have: B0, B1, B2 and B3. In which B4, the new bit, is a linear relation. The function is defined like this. The function is defined as B1 exclusive or B0. So to generate a new bit of key stream, you are making use of the feedback from the previous bits, which are taken from only B0 and B1. B2 and B3 does not have any role in generation of the new bit. But in the next round, we'll see. Right, we'll shift these bits like this. So B1 will become B0, and then B2 will become B1, B3 will become B2, and B4 will become B3. So here the new bit is generated by taking the exclusive or linear functionality of B1 and B0. So what is the question here is, show the value of output for 20 transition shifts if the seed is 0001. Seed means initial value. Right. Is it clear up to this point?
Yes, sir.
So we will see how these 20 rounds are going to take place. So output is equal to k of I. We will take only one bit, right? So for the first round, B0 becomes the key, and for the second round, B1 becomes the key. Why? Because you are generating a new bit at each and every time, and you are giving it as a feedback. So the ciphertext what we are getting is from the 1 bit key stream and 1 bit plain text, right? See here. So what is the initial seed they have taken? 0001. Am I right or not?
Yes, sir.
So these are the first seed we have taken. And what is that B4 they have taken? B4 is given as B1 exclusive or B0. Right. So what is exclusive OR of B0 and B1 here? 0 exclusive or 1. What is the value?
1, sir.
It is 1. So you can observe here that B4 we get here as 1. Right. So the feedback is taken to generate B4, and once you generate B4 in the first iteration, what happens is you have to shift everything towards its right hand side. So this becomes this one, and 0 will be shifted here, and B2 will be shifted to B1, B3 will be shifted to B2, and B4 will be shifted to B3. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So for the first round, I get the key value as 1. So what is B4 for the first round? You have to apply this function. B4 is B1 exclusive or B0. So you take these 2 bits. What is 0 exclusive or 0?
0, sir.
0, sir.
0. So you can observe here that 0 is generated here. So for the next round, this B0 becomes the key, B1 becomes B0 for the next round, B2 becomes B1 for the next round, and B3 becomes B2 for the next round, and B4 becomes B3 for the next round. Right. So now again 0 plus 0, what is the result? 0 exclusive or 0 is 0. Right. So this becomes 0, and this moves here, and this moves here, this moves here, and this moves here. So now what happens here? 0, 1. Am I right or not? Now what is 0 exclusive or 1? I generate the 4th bit as 1. Right. So like that, after 20 rounds, the sequence what I have generated is, you have to take all the streams, this one along with this one. Right. So in this direction you have to take. That means I will get the sequence as 1 000 4 ones 0 1, like that I have to take. Right. Is it clear? So you can observe here that the key stream that is generated is 1 0 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 1 0 1 1 like that. Right. So observe here that this looks like as if it is a random sequence, but for every 15 bits it is going to repeat. So the first 15 bits are like this: 1 0 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 1 0 1 1, and the same sequence is repeated here. Similarly, the same sequence is repeated like that. The key stream that is generated from an LFSR is a pseudo random sequence in which the sequence is repeated after n bits. Right. So the maximum period of LFSR is 2 power m minus 1, right, where m is the number of bits. So for example, in the previous example, how many bits I have taken for the seed? 0001. Am I right or not? So m is equal to, what is the value? What is m here? Number of
4,
bits.
sir.
4.
4, sir.
4, sir.
Right. So the maximum period of LFSR is 2 power 4 minus 1. That is 2 power that is 16 minus 1, that is equal to 15. So you can match here, right? Since you have taken the m value as 4, for every 15 bits the sequence is going to repeat. In the similar fashion, if you take m is equal to 6, what happens here? For every 2 power m minus 1, that is 2 power 6 minus 1, that is 64 minus 1. For every
63, sir.
3 bits, the sequence will be repeated. Right. Is it clear how this LFSR is going to generate the key stream?
Yes, sir.
Right. So in
Yes,
the
sir.
non-synchronous stream cipher, each key in the key stream depends on the previous plain text or the ciphertext. So we don't have much explanation on this asynchronous stream ciphers, but they have simply given a statement that in non-synchronous stream cipher, each key in the key stream is going to depend on the previous plain text and the ciphertext. Right. So it is going to take the feedback from the plain text or the ciphertext. So by making use of the previous plain text and the ciphertext, by taking the feedback, the new key stream will be generated. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Right. So that completes our discussion on the modern stream ciphers. So in this particular session, we have discussed in-depth discussion on what these stream ciphers are and how the stream cipher is making use of the nonce concept, which is a pseudo random number concept, to generate the key stream. And by using the block diagrams, we have a clear-cut explanation on everything. And we have seen few example algorithms on which the stream cipher depends on, like the A4 algorithm, which is used for GSM cellular networks, A5, right, and RC4 algorithm, which is used for wireless communication, and SALSA 20, CHA-CHA 20. All these are all the few examples we have under these modern stream ciphers. Right. And the two categories of the stream ciphers are the synchronous and non-synchronous or asynchronous. Anything is correct only. So in synchronous, the key is independent of the previous plain text or the ciphertext, but in the asynchronous stream ciphers, the ciphertext, the key depends on it relies on the ciphertext, previous ciphertext. And how we are going to generate these key streams by using the pseudo random sequences, that also we have discussed in the context of linear feedback shift registers. Right. So by this we have completed the concept on the modern stream ciphers. So that's all for today's session. Thank you one and all for joining.